Hello everyone, how you all doing? All the IPV4 lovers, come join in. Right, let's revise some of the material that we did in the previous video. Previous video? Yes, we did, right. So, as you all know, this is marketing as well, and obviously IPv4 subnetting as well. Not really, joking. So that's my YouTube channel, Faraz.Mansoor, and you have to go into the playlist, the network fundamentals one. Then at the moment we are doing class C IPv4 subnetting. So just to give you a brief overview, these lectures we have gone through, just to give you an idea that we have started IPv4 class C subnetting. Now, just to give you a revision, I talked about 256 rule. And then in class C, remember, class C always starts with 192. Thank you. Point number 2. We are only interested in working in this octet. Octet number 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's network, and that's host. Right. Then our questions or our troubleshooting scenarios or questions that we are getting or going to get in the exam will be around these areas. So either we have to find out the subnet or the first host or the last host or the broadcast address. Mostly 95% of your questions will be around this. So similarly, we or I gave an example, like that's our subnet address. So just have a look at this. So that is a subnet. Remember, 192.168.0.0. So that is a subnet. Remember, that's a subnet. Now let's go to the next one. So first host should look like this. 192.168.0.1. So that 0.0 was the subnet. First host should look like this, .1. Okay, right. Now, if we are going to find out the last host, so in this scenario, the last host that we have is 0.2. And regarding this, as I'm saying, forget about the idea of usable addresses and what addresses where to use. We will learn them later. At the moment, just focus on this. Then we have broadcast address. So our broadcast address is going to be 0.3. If it's not making any sense, don't worry about it. Carry on watching this video and you will know what I mean. Now, because we are in the range, so the next subnet starts with 0.4. So the broadcast address for this subnet, the subnet 0.0, is going to be 0.3 here. So do you understand me? This is what we are following and going through. And here, now if you see, it's 0.4, and that's the new subnet which starts. So now, while regarding this, because I'm a student myself, if you feel that there are any mistakes, do not follow this. Follow the logic and do it with your own pace at your own time. And do try to go to online subnetting calculator and calculate yourself what can be the answer regarding the solutions bits and pieces. Right. So let's move on to another thing that we did. So same as that scenario. Now if you see, that's dotted decimal notation. This is what it is called. So revolving around these, because we are more interested at the moment in class C. That's what we are doing, which starts with 192. So let's move down. Furthermore, I discussed that we will be working in the fourth octet. So we are working at the top with the powers of 2. Remember that. So we have 8 bits in there. 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. We go to 2 power 8 here. Now under here, we have specific values. For the first bit, it's 128, 192, 224, 240, 248, 252, 255. Oh, just to collaborate or this sequence, or more elaboration on this sequence, I just want to tell you one thing. Now, supposedly, we are in the fourth octet in class C. We are just building on the logics before we really jump into it. So that's class C. That's the fourth octet. Now, supposedly, we got 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, these values you really need to remember. 128. This is how all the octets work. The one before in class A and B as well. 192 will be the second value. 224 will be the third value. 240. And then we have 248. And then we have 252. And then we have 254. And then similarly we have 255. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So let me just recheck that one. So these are the values we are looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So first one, 128. All the values are going to work like this. So that's 240, remember. Now similarly, there's 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, 2 power 5, 2 power 6, 2 power 7, and 2 power 8. Remember, this will go in this sequence, all of that. So 8 bits up, 8 bits down. So let's do it this way. 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. You need to remember, it's very important while you're doing IPV4 subnetting, that you remember the powers of 2, especially now with class C. Class A and B, you need to remember more than this. So it will be beneficial for them if you remember till 2 power 20. So, or 2 power 16, ideally. So this table, I'm going to just remember this table. 128, 192, 224, 240, 248. This table you should just remember like breakfast and lunch that you do, or water that you drink. It will be so beneficial that you'll be able to do any sort of question that you want to do. So that's 240, 248, 252, 2454, and 255. So remember, this table is very important. Obviously, the powers of 2 are so important. And this table, 128, 192, 224, 240, 248. This is the sequence which is carrying on in these 8 bits which are going to be here. You'll be working in them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So now let's move back here. So what's happening here? That's the fourth octet. Obviously, these are the powers of 2, and that's the table that we have drawn. Now, first, what we usually do is we apply the 256 rule, which I discussed before this one. So 256 rule will be applied. So supposedly, the mask is /26 dotted decimal notation. So that's going to come up to 192 /26. So how does /26 work? So I will show you. That's 8 bits. That's 16 bits. 8 plus 8, 16. That's 24 bits. So we are starting class C from here. So let's see from here. Till here is 24 bits. That's the 25th bit, which value is 128. The value of this bit is 128. That's /26. So we have /26. So our mask is going to be 255.255.255.190. Right. So now that when we are here, now first what we're going to do after this is, in the 256 rule, I am going to subtract or minus or subtract that 192 that we had here in our mask, very important. And then let's see what I get. So 256, 192. Any guesses? 64. That's correct. So first what we do is we find out the 256 rule. Through that 256 rule, now I know my ranges. So I have found out my range for this one. So, right, correct. Now, in this particular scenario, we were looking for the subnet that this IP address is on. So we are looking for the subnet. So here we are working on 15. So now if you see, we have found out a range. So it's going to be 0, 64, 128. That's our range, 0, 64, 128. So we have found out the range that this is going to be the range here. Now the question actually asks us that we need to put that subnet where this particular IP address belongs to. So what will be the subnet? Any guesses? Anyone? Any guesses? So imagine this, we are working here. So the first range we found out was what? 0. So ladies and gentlemen, everyone, hold your breath. This is going to be your answer. So the original IP address was this. Now it wanted us to tell us whether which subnet is this IP address is going to be on. So we have found out, first we did 256 rule. We applied it on here into the subnet mask. We found out the ranges. So 64 was a part of the range, 0, 64, 128. Similarly, 64, more on it. Excuse me, I think I had a lot to eat today. Right, right. So now, if you can't make any sense of it, do not worry about it. Just carry on watching the video. They'll get more and more simpler. So this is our subnet, 0, because 15, which is here in the fourth octet, is not greater than 64. It's less than, so it should be here somewhere in this subnet. So it belongs to this subnet. So our answer is going to be, any guesses? Right. Let's stop guessing and write the answer. 192, which is a class C, remember. Do not forget. 168.21. So everything will remain the same. 192.168 in the IP address. .121. So everything in the IP address is the same. Apart from this, because we are doing class C subnetting and we want to know .15 is on which subnet. So our subnet is .15 is on 192.168.21.0. This is the answer that we were looking for. It will look very complex in the beginning, but slowly, when you get the hold of it, it's going to become so easy. It will be like second nature to you. So if you do IPv4, the best thing is then you can find out the ranges, and then you can do VLSM, variable length subnet masking. You can find out the ranges. You can do so much. You can do supernetting, and then classless, classful. Oh, do mind my writing, I'll put too much in. So if you know IPv4, subnetting, or if you know about your protocol, IPv4 protocol, and literally we'll be doing IPv6 as well later, once we get a hold, through class C, class A, B, it becomes so much easier to understand, any sort of graphic designs or network design. Like if you go on Google and search for them, I'll show you some as well, regarding Yeah, I mean, I can show it, but I can't literally show you a lot because of the copyright scenarios. So just to let you know, these tables are really, really important that you know what you're doing with them. And to be honest with you, I've done and learned subnetting 4 or 5 ways. This works more easier for me. I don't know which way works more easier for you. But I tell you one thing, once you go into with other ways, once you go into class A and class B subnetting, the other procedures will start failing. So this is the sort of procedure which makes it more easier. The more practice that you put into it, the better it's going to be. I'm so sorry about this. There was a revision. The video has slightly gone longer. I've taken more of your time. I'll try to make the next videos more numerical and more easier. Thank you so much. Bye.